like, oh, yes, I'm blessed. Yes, I'm blessed. Yes, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed.
Let me holler at Uncle Charlie.
Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk. Today, we have a conscious man in the house. I'm going to get right into the conscious piece of this. His name is Von Gage. Von, talk to us. Share some conscious rap.
What's happening? My name is Von Gage. Rap it. Wise hustlers always prosper perfectly in time. No matter what you're doing in life, just keep moving. You feel me? Yeah. Woke up, it was raining with the clouds. Master of the sunshine behind the curtain shroud. Soaking in the moment, gotta zone into the now. Life's such a brilliant merry-go-round. They had me up on the gallows. They told me I've been warned. Followed in my shadow since the day that I was born. Never let them fool me, took the halo from my horns. Now I'm taking life through the eye of the storm. And so I sow my flow hella deep down. I hit you in the soul, yeah. My seeds grow, I made a garden out of snow. Homie, I'm the new hole. They ain't never gonna stop me unless they use a clip load. Taking on the ego. You see me making dough. Wrap it posted on the flyer and you know I'm slinging clothes. Much love to my women, never hear me saying ho. I'm the man that I am cause you left me in the cold. Yeah, ain't nothing like days with rain and the sunshine gone and the rays ain't nowhere around. Ain't nowhere around. Yeah. Ain't nothing like days with rain and the sunshine gone and the rays ain't nowhere around. Ain't nowhere around. Yeah, little bro standing next to me, I looked into his eyes. I saw the darkness, but it's only a disguise. Knew we'd meet the torment that I tried so hard to fight. So I tried to take him on the path, tried to be a guiding light. Needless to say, the summer's colder in the shade. Many men are blinded by the light, they turn away. If you're listening, my brother, keep your eyes wide open. Cause time ain't gonna heal it if your heart's still frozen. With no disrespect, homie, better recollect and then reflect to reconnect yourself. Please check. You failed the test without testament to make it back to heaven. Kid, I'm heaven sent to save you from yourselves, but you never give. Heaven's in the moment where the time moves fast. Every second that you borrow from your heart, you'll get it back. Heal yourself to heal the world within this never-ending story. We can't stop the plot till the rain stops pouring. Ain't nothing like days with rain and the sunshine gone and the rays ain't nowhere around. Ain't nowhere around. Yeah. Ain't nothing like days with rain and the sunshine gone and the rays ain't nowhere around. Ain't nowhere around. See, I'm a real beast, but I feel like a priest, teaching the deceased a thing or two about peace. See, we're not perfect people. The steeple's up for lease on the holy land of evil. Stay blessed, but gotta eat. Too many see defeat, not ever seeking what they seek. The few strong survive by bleeding tithings from the weak and try to keep it cool, but summer's never ending with the heat. And when the winter comes, the sun never shines on the streets. Yeah, my name is Von Gage. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something in life, you feel me? You can. Just believe in yourself, you feel me? Rap it. We can make it if we try, yeah, we can touch the sky through the obstacles and lies. No obstacle ever too hard, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The days are passing, bodies by. Everybody says goodbye, resolve, cause it's evolve or die. Yeah.
Man, that was some positive, conscious rap. Appreciate that. That was lovely. That was give us another hand for Von Gage. Yes. Now, how did you get into this conscious rap?
All right. I was working for Home Depot like 8 or 9 years ago, right? Absolutely hated my life. The only thing that was good about it is I got to travel around the country, you know what I mean?
Right.
At that time, my brother was hating his life, and he started using music as an outlet. And, you know, I'd always been influenced by music. My father did music. He was in a band, toured around the country in the 80s, you know what I mean?
Well, because it's in the blood then.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Yeah, but the conscious piece.
Yeah.
How did you get into the conscious? Because we got some other stuff going on out there, but you got the conscious that you bring into the people.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, I've always felt like you can't, in fact, that song I just did is Days with Rain, right? Yeah. You can't understand or appreciate the good things in life until you go through the bad things in life, you know what I mean? Right. And so having been through a lot of darkness in my life and knowing what it takes to get out of that, I didn't want to be a bad influence to people. And so I've always stuck to the conscious thing, you know what I mean? Right.
Now, from my understanding, you're going to be performing at the MLK. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
September 23rd. September 24th is the MLK Dream Run. September 23rd, we're throwing unity in the community. It's the kickoff to that event. We're going to have speaker minds out there. The Rich McLeod Band. I'll also be performing. We're going to be promoting unity, equity, and harmony. So make sure you guys check that out, all right? September 23rd.
Okay, would you come back and do a song for us?
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Hey.
Come on back. All right, Von Cage, please. Okay. Joining me is Gigi Williams. And Gigi has a powerful, powerful story. She's a screenwriter and play director and producer. We're going to get in a little bit. She just got back from the Black Film Festival. Just talk a little bit about that, Mr. Williams.
Well, it's been a very exciting year so far.
Okay.
I went to the Hollywood Black Film Festival in February and had a really good time there in Marina del Rey.
Okay.
And got to meet some really fantastic people and did a lot of networking. And then I went to the San Francisco Black Film Festival a couple months ago. And same thing, it got very well received, met a lot of great people, did a lot of good networking, got a lot of traveling time in this year. So.
Okay, absolutely. Now, I just mentioned Angela Sacred Heart.
Yeah.
Let the people know a little bit about Angela Sacred Heart and how it got started.
Angela Sacred Heart is a movie, a script that I wrote many years ago, and it's about my personal biography, my life story. And it actually was based upon a feature-length film that I had written, but it's a short film. We just extracted about 15 minutes out of the script. My daughter is starring, she's playing myself in the film. It's based on my life story, and I made the film, and we both wanted to do this work because we wanted to help raise awareness about violence and epidemic. And it's something that we just felt like really passionate about. And I wanted to tell my story, and when it actually screened at the Hollywood Theater here in Portland last year, a lot of people were emotionally moved by the story, and they came up to us after the screening and were so emotional, and they thanked us so much for telling this story because it's an important story, and it makes them feel like they have value and that their lives matter too, because 1 out of 4 women will be the subject of a violent crime or sexual assault in her lifetime. So it's very unfortunate that we are living in those type of times today, but I just wanted to make that film to try to help raise awareness about it.
Now, I saw some interesting statistics. It's about now correct me if I'm wrong, it's okay. It's like 4.4 black women out of 1,000. Can you touch on it? Actually assaulted domestically?
Yes, it's like I said, it's a major epidemic, and women of color are assaulted much more. You know, the statistics are a lot higher for women of color.
So your film is basically to get the information out for the awareness, to
Yes.
start having people focus on what it is an issue. Now, how does this, we talk about the assaults, does this also relate to men? Understanding what the assaults are about?
I don't think they do, and that's
Okay.
why we made the film. And at the film festivals, I was approached by the San Francisco Unified School District and some of the organizations, educational, the City College of San Francisco, Lewis and Clark College here in Portland. They do have programs available, sexual assault, sexual violence against women, especially on college campuses. And so they asked me, would I be willing to develop a program and screen the film there and develop, create a program to help raise awareness and to help educate young men about this situation. And the reason I thought it was really important is because I suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of it. You don't have to be a veteran, often in Afghanistan, Iraq, or Iran to have PTSD. And that's something that it's a chronic condition, it's an emotional condition. It's like a fight or flight type of condition, and it can affect you for the rest of your life. When anyone suffers a traumatic assault like that. So I just thought it was really important to raise awareness about this issue and also to help young men understand the long-term consequences and the price that people have to pay. The victim really suffers and then their families, and it's just a very unfortunate situation. But I think it happens because there's not very much awareness about it.
First of all, I want to applaud you for stepping up and sharing your story.
Thank you.
This program about the Excellent Award, you want to talk a little bit about that, the Award of Excellence, an outstanding that you received? A little bit about that?
The WRPN TV.
Yes, absolutely.
We won 2 awards there for that festival, and it's a webisode. So we have the opportunity of creating a episodes, because when we screened the film at different festivals, a lot of people came up to us and said that they wanted to know what happened afterwards. Since I do have a feature-length film and I only screened 15 minutes of it, we're just at the early stages of the story. And the story does go on. There's a lot more to it and a lot more challenges, but it's a very inspirational story. It's a powerful story how someone who could be an underdog, a victim, like we talked earlier about, some people come into the world with labels. And unfortunately, black women and women of color tend to be tossed to the bottom of the social ladder and the economic ladder. They have a lot more challenges to overcome. And so I wanted to also tell that story to also inspire other young women that they're not alone, and it doesn't matter where you're from or where you come from. You know, I gained spiritual strength from it, and it was a long journey for me, but it's a spiritual journey. And I want to inspire other young women and people of color to know that they're not alone.
Absolutely. 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 Now, from my understanding, your daughter, who actually plays you in the movie, actually helped promote you, I mean, not promote you, but boost you to put this on in film.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
She said that she had so many young women friends in college and people that she worked with who had talked to her about their experiences and about their mother's experiences, and you know, people who, acquaintances, cousins, relatives who had been sexually assaulted. And that's when she realized what a serious problem that this is. It's not just 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 20, it's like 1 out of 4. So she said, Mom, this is a very serious subject, and since you wrote about that in your movie, then maybe we should make that part of the film so that we can raise awareness about that. And even some of her friends came up to me and her at the screening, after the screening here in Hollywood Theater, and they were crying. They were just so thankful that we're finally getting that message out. It's a very powerful message, and we're in changing times right now. I think we need to raise consciousness about a lot of levels, about a lot of different things. And all you gotta do is take your pick. But I picked this one because I think it's important, and because it happened to me, and I was traumatized by it. And if I could tell my story that can help other people to save them, then I was willing to do that.
So we're going to give a shout out to Ashley. Thank you, Ashley. Ashley. Now, where are you going from this point on? You got the movie, getting ready to go to the screen. How do people get in touch with you? How do people get a chance to see you? How people even tweet you or Facebook you, or put it out there, let people know how to get in touch with you.
They can look up the film on Facebook. It's called Angela Sacred Heart. So just go to Facebook and just type in Angela Sacred Heart. And it has a lot of information there. And I also have an Angela Sacred Heart Twitter. So it's at Angela Sacred Heart on the Twitter page. And we'd love to have more followers. And I'll keep you up to date on everything that's going on and on our progress with working with the school districts and things like that.
Now, your name is Gigi Williams. Your daughter's name is Ashley. How did you come up with Angela Sacred Heart?
Well, it's kind of like a long story, but the original film that I had written was called The Sacred Heart. And in the French version of it, it's Le Sacré-Cœur. And it was based upon the fact that Angela actually goes to Paris, and she takes a course there. She spends the spring semester in Paris after everything that she's gone through in her life and all the trauma that she had to go through. She was still determined never to give up on her dreams. And her dream was to go to Paris and to spend a spring semester in Paris. And so there was this famous church in Paris called the Sacre-Cœur.
Okay.
And so it's like one of my favorite churches there. And there was a wonderful experience there because what inspired that particular church and that whole experience, which is part of the spiritual journey, is this boss of mine gave me a painting of the Sacre-Cœur of this church. And so I made that connection, and it was such a powerful draw that I really wanted to see that church, and I titled the story The Sacre-Cœur. But then when we tried to come up with a name for the script, we wanted to name it the Sacre-Cœur or the Sacred Heart, and it was already taken. So then we had to come up with a different alternative, so we decided Angela Sacred Heart.
Angela Sacred Heart.
Sorry, that was
That's
like
okay.
a moment.
Angela Sacred Heart, yeah. Appreciate that. Now, from what you just sharing with me, you are actually the person that was in France.
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to draw that parallel there to people understand that it was actually you in Paris.
It was actually me.
Yes,
Yeah, so Angela
okay.
is me, right.
Okay, absolutely. Miss Gigi Williams, it's been an honor. Let Straight Talk know whatever we can do. Please, please stay strong as you are. Keep getting this message out. Oh, you're
Yes.
also at the University of Oregon too, huh? Working with a gentleman down there?
Yes.
Share a little bit about that.
Oh, yes, he was one of your guests at
Yes.
the last show.
Okay.
And he's in a leadership development program, and he also sponsors films, and he has a lot of films, of educational type films for the student body. So after he appeared on the show last time, he came up to me and he congratulated me and everything, and he asked me would I be interested in doing a film about harassment, sexual harassment in the workplace. So he said that's something he's always been really interested in doing. And so we're going to get together and talk about that and creating a project to help address those type of issues. It's like it's just taking off, you know, and a lot of people are getting inspired by it.
I'm gonna share something else with you. Today we're blessed to have the CEO of Floss Magazine.
Oh,
so
yeah?
there might be a spot there that you can get there in that magazine there. Okay, Angela, Sacred Heart, Gigi Williams.
Thank you.
Thank you. Joining me is Miss Deborah Harris.
Yes.
And each month what we do is Miss Deborah comes on, Miss Harris comes on and shares with us a little bit about what's going on in our community on the political side. And it's very important, and I want to speak to the camera right now. A lot of people stop me, they send me emails, they texting me about the conditions of our society today. If you don't like the condition, you have to get out and vote. Your vote does count and it does matter. I said my little piece, let Ms. Harris do what she do.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much. And I'm here today to talk about, again, just recap the importance of voting. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for, how to vote, but the most important thing is that we get out and exercise that privilege that we have, that privilege we've worked for so hard and we've tried for so long. Now we have it. Let's use it.
And people have died for
Yes.
people to vote.
Yes, yes. Thousands upon thousands of people
Yes,
have died
absolutely.
You know, for the right to vote.
Now I got one question. This is about the 2018 midterms elections.
Yes, the upcoming election, and focusing on the
Okay.
upcoming election. On this November of 2017, there is an election, but there are no candidates on
Okay.
the ballots.
Okay.
There are only measures. So there is a 2000 November election coming up.
It's about the measures.
It's about the measures.
About the
yes.
money.
Yes, measures and so forth. But also in 2017, as a matter of fact, in September 7th, September 7th is the date that anyone who is interested in becoming a candidate, putting their hat in the pot to run for an office,
Okay.
can do so. And I'm only going to focus on the positions for city and Multnomah County, for the city of Portland and Multnomah County, since that's where we are and that's where our communities are. So coming up September, if anyone is interested in running for one of about 3 or 4 offices for the city of Portland,
Okay.
you can do that. And I just made a notation of those. The mayor's position, no, it isn't available.
You got that handle, right?
It isn't available until the year 2020. But in September, if you're interested,
Okay.
you can register. You can put your name in the hat. The auditor right now, our current auditor is Mary Hull Caballera. The commissioner position number 2 is open, which is currently held by Nick Fish.
Okay.
And also the commissioner position number 3, which is currently held by Dan Saltzman. Those positions will become open for the year 2018.
Okay.
Multnomah County positions, the chair that's currently held by Deborah Kafuri. That position is open next year. The commissioner number 2, Loretta Smith, is currently there. Her position ends in 2018, so that is open. The auditor is Steve Marsh, and also the Multnomah County Sheriff, Michael Reese. Those positions are open. So if you're interested in running for either of those positions in Multnomah County or in the city of Portland, September 7th, you can put your name in the hat.
Now, is there a price on that?
There's always a
There's
price
always some
for
money. Let's say
everything.
follow the money. We're
Yes,
gonna follow the money.
follow the money.
How much they got to pay?
There are different
Prices,
amounts.
okay.
Sometimes you can get signatures
Okay.
to avoid the initial amount.
Okay.
But you can call the city elections office and get all the details. But you do have between September 7th of 2017 up through March 6th of 2018. March 6th of 2018 is the last day that you can put your name in the hat to be on the ballot for one of those positions.
Now, I want to say something. You might not realize how important when Ms. Harris comes on, but we got a call, and they were very, very happy about the fact that you put out that the mayor was looking for people to email him information on his new police chief that he hired. So the fact that you came on, talked about it, people were able to identify with what you were saying, and they started emailing. And the rest is history. So we got the new police chief. Hopefully we can get her. We're working on getting her here.
Yes, yes.
Where she can talk to us and talk to the community. But we applaud you for doing your work on that. Absolutely. That's very important. That's very important. This segment that you do, we really appreciate
Thank
that
you.
you do it, that you're keeping the people informed.
Yes.
Because 2017, 2018 is approaching quickly.
Yes, and the primary election is May of 2018.
Okay.
And then the final election is November of 2018. So that's, as you said, it's fast approaching.
It's here. It's here.
Keep your eyes open on who's running,
Right.
and then read about them, get an understanding for yourself.
Right.
Learn the candidates.
Any of those measures you want to talk to that people really need to be focusing on too?
No, I don't want to go into any of the measures.
Would you come back and just share a little bit about the measures so people
Yes.
can know what's going on?
Yes.
Because I know those measures has a lot to do with how they routing the money.
Yes.
And the development in the communities and the Portland area at large. So we really want to educate the people on that as best as we can.
I would do that because focusing on the measures are very important. Oftentimes we go to the polls and we're asking, okay, who's running for president, who's running for mayor. We focus on what we consider the big ticket items, but all the other details are very important. Then when a measure or something's taking place, we can't ask, why did this happen? Why are we doing this? It's because we didn't look at the details.
Absolutely.
And I will close by saying Art Linkletter once said, not Art Linkletter, it was Disney. He says, there is no magic. It's in the details. So we need to focus on the details to make the magic.
Okay, you heard it from Ms. Deborah Harris.
Thank you.
It's not magic. It's in the
It's
details.
in the details.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you
I'm
very
not
much.
disrespectful.
When a young person knows that they can control the narrative and that they can control their outcomes, game over. There was just something about seeing all these young, gifted people sit before us and do these interviews. And over the weeks of watching them, the real true personalities of who they are is starting to manifest. I wanted to spend the rest of my career, my life, somehow or another building programs and creating opportunities for young people to experience the perception of significance, the perception of capability, and the perception of influence. The program is delivering a message about who they are as individuals, reinforcing this understanding of the whole historical evolution of the African American in this country. The point was to see if we can get them all thinking about the same thing, the same time, and giving them this sense of communication and messaging about who they are, reinforcing their dignity and their self-awareness. Man, lo and behold, some of the things I've seen, some kids come into this process, they're real quiet, introverted, in a shell, and over several weeks' time, these kids are fully engaged with one another. They're fully having communication, they're talking about their environment. When these young people can know that they can tell their own story, when you got a camera, when you got a voice, when you got a platform, you can deliver a message and you can achieve an outcome. There's no greater thing than this. No greater thing than this. It's the promise for our future tomorrow. And believe you me, I want to see a future tomorrow for my kids.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder of Green Light, Black Lives Matter, also the CEO of Floss Magazine, and he's joined with one of his interns, Miss Clark. Welcome, people. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us, man.
Yes, I'm going to start with Mr. Washington. It's always first, I'm going to have you introduce you first, who you are first, because the ladies are always first. Then I want to speak to Mr. Washington. You are?
My name is Claire Clark, and I was born here, and I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, and what program are you involved with?
I interned with the Green Lighting Black Lives Matter Youth Media program, and am now currently just ending the Summer Works, run by Laura Smith, the commissioner.
Well, congratulations to you. It's very positive to see a young person out on the trail and you blazing the way for other young people. I'm going to talk to your mentor right now, your founder. Mr. Washington, how you doing?
I'm doing great, my brother. I appreciate you having us on the show tonight, man.
I'm honored. Let's talk a little bit about the Flossing Magazine, and then we'll get into the Green Light Black Matters program.
Sure, I'd be more than open to talk a little
How
bit
did it
about
start?
flossing. Well, you know, flossing, it was kind of crazy how it all started, because it was back in the day, back in 04, 03, when, you know, you had Vibe, you had Source, you had Dub, you had all these urban magazines that was popping up. And, you know, one day I was watching my son, you know, thumb through Source. And, you know, I don't hate on Source. I like Source, all of that. But back in the day, as you thumb through the pages, a lot of that stuff got dark.
Okay.
You know, as you thumb through the pages. And I kept saying, you know, these little young hip-hoppers and these little brothers and sisters that are out there, you know, man, we got to get some kind of information in their hand and through that pipeline that could begin to sort of give them a different kind of impression or a view on life, you know. And so I just kept feeling like there needed to be some inspirational messaging in the marketplace. So, you know, we shopped around, we looked around, all around for different types of magazines, and there was a young brother here in Portland that was putting together a book called Flossing. And we looked at it, and we looked at all these other ones, and we were in the market to buy one. So once we got up on this one, we saw the potential for it. So, you know, myself and a few other people got together and we purchased the book. And as a result of it, we changed a few of the things. At first, it was about big cars and fancy homes, and you know, all that kind. You know, them youngsters, they be into that kind of stuff.
Right.
But then we sort of changed it a little bit, and then because we started recognizing that a lot of that stuff was the trappings of success, but what was true success?
Okay.
And to us, success was about sort of that whole issue about that internal philanthropic reality of once you arrived to something, what was your philanthropy after that? And so we began to look at, you know, different ways to present success, the story of success, not ours, but the success that was all around the country and around the world. And we wanted to package it, write about it, make it clear how it all works, and bring it to the people.
Beautiful. Now, in the video, I noticed you talked about 3 points, and one of them was significance, compatibility, and influence. Can you
Right.
just touch on at least a little bit on each one of those?
Yeah, and to me that's the work that I believe today that has meaning, and it addresses more or less this sense of inferiority, man.
Okay.
That we, when you at the world table, because today everything is at the world. It's about this world thing. I mean that little thing you dealing with, the Palm Pilots, all that.
Yeah.
It puts you in touch with the world, and so. But when you're sitting at the world table, the question is, how do our young kids and our young people become successful when there is this imaginary, or rather it's perceived imaginary, or if it's real, how do they begin to address this sense of inferiority? Or how society begins to make and place upon our young people this sense of less than,
Okay.
that they're not okay when they're sitting at the table. And, and so I began to look at that a little bit more. And today I began to recognize that if you don't possess those 3 perceptions about yourself, sitting at that table, 9 times out of 10, they're going to push you out of that table.
So if you don't have the significance,
If you don't have that perception of self being significant, if you don't have that perception of capability, or that perception of influence meaning your environment, being able to influence your environment, being able to influence your circumstances and your condition, then you need to get up from the table, because they're going to push you away from it anyway, because you don't have the tools that it takes to be successful at that table.
right. Now speaking about, there's the clap on that. Clap on that. Speaking about the young people,
Right.
brings us into one of your interns, Miss Clark, because she's putting some powerful influences out there right now. How did you get involved with this?
So it was freshman year
Okay.
at Benson, and I had a teacher of dentistry, Miss Jameson, and I was just about to walk out of the building. End of the day, school's out. I'm going home.
Yeah,
I'm
ready to
ready.
go, ready.
Yeah. And she
Yeah.
said, Claire, and I was like, and she said, you have to go upstairs. They're doing this program, and I really think you should be a part of it. And I said, okay, I'll go see. I'll go see what I can do. So I went upstairs with all my textbooks, and they had this survey. I did not, however, know how to answer most of the questions on this survey. Part of the program that I eventually got into was the learning your history
Okay.
part, and who you are now as an outcome of all of that. And growing up, I never really was part of that information. That information was not perceived, nor was it given to me. So the program awakened me
Okay.
to the fact that, not everyone's equal, in the eyes of, so many, but they are. And that needs to be, fixed.
Talk to us then. Okay.
So of course, in my journey, I've learned that because of my age, I don't have the experience of someone who is an activist, who has been in the game, who has been making changes for X amount of years. I just don't have it yet. But I've learned that when you have a voice, when you have a camera,
There you go.
when you have someone, an organization, a people, a John,
Yes.
who is capable in supporting and allowing the youth to actually think, I'm going to step into these shoes, my big shoes, and I'm going to make some ripples in this lake.
Absolutely.
I'm actually going to speak. But the key to that is speaking clearly. The key to that is being able to speak to the right people, being able to be clear, being able to be understood, being able to express. And
You got to get a clap for yourself. Go chime in on that, Mr. Washington. Go ahead.
It's really important is that, when you think about how we came about this, and one of my executive editors, Miss Fawn Aberson, recognized and happened to run across some research out of UCLA about the way Hollywood refuses to greenlight African American films. And so we took a look at that. and we read the research and stuff, and of course, with how we do things, I like to believe the premise of Flossin is rooted in pathfinding. You know, we like to believe we the type of people that get out in front of the wave, in the front of things, and bring it to fruition, bring it to bear. You know, and especially create those opportunities and pathways for young African Americans in areas where there is no path for them. And so when we were looking at this reality of greenlighting Black Lives, greenlighting Black Lives Matter, we were seeing that, hey, that there was no, that there was just simply not enough black African American filmmakers out there that make films and movies. So we said, okay, well then let's put together a process so that we can begin to start introducing a few of these young people
Absolutely.
into the marketplace. So we set out, found a few grants, and wrote a few things, and and investigated a few things, and lo and behold, that there were a lot of people receptive to the idea, and we implemented it. But here's what I'm going to tell you: is not in a million years of my wildest imagination that the outcomes I would have seen before we got to the outcome. You know, we did a thing where we combined pedagogy, teaching young people about themselves, their heritage, where they come from, reinforcing that significance, and then taught them a skill about technology. And what we began to see take place was the fact that these people began to gravitate, sustain, remember, comprehend. There was just a beauty that occurred that was in that environment that taught these young people that they could express themselves, that they were capable of doing some things, that they come from stocks and places where they have value, that people believe in them, that we didn't just come from nothing, we came from something. And the fact, once they got that, hey man, I seen something in their eyes that I never expected to see, and that was strength and hope. You know, and that was really significant for us to be able to arrive to. So that's one of the carrots that we seen at the end. And then, of course, people like Claire, young people like Claire, and there was a variety of things. Because at the table today, man, we have a lot of different people. Just not everybody because you call yourself black, you ain't just, not everybody see themselves that way. Their skin color might be dark, but that's, people could come from Haiti, they can come from Cuba, they can come from over there in Lebanon, or they can come from Africa. They can come from a lot of things. They look black, but they're not African American, But what we found to be interesting was when we gave people an opportunity to tell their story, that made the difference, man. Because then we began to see and understand what their visions were about. We seen them mature. We seen them begin to make their contribution in their own way in relationship to their blackness. And we found that was pretty fascinating, man, and exciting.
Absolutely. And while you were sharing, Miss Claire she was getting a yes. She was getting a yes. She was
Too
getting
much.
a yes. Go, that's okay.
Yeah,
So you went upstairs. This meeting was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now today you are in the Greenlight Black Lives Matter.
And an actual alternative film firm, and working as a videographer and a personal artist. So.
Absolutely. So that's what we're talking about right there. We're talking about. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, it's called Soul of the Community. You want to touch a little bit about on that?
Yeah. Back in 2010.
The Soul District.
The Soul District.
Yes.
Yeah. The Northeast was deemed to be, the district was deemed to be the Soul District, just like you have the Jade District, just like you have the Pearl District, that the Northeast Portland was called the Soul of Portland. Mm-hmm. And the Soul District was the word that was developed, and when they did the branding, they looked at that, and so we deeded the district that way. And today, we've now did a name change with the Northeast Business Association, and now the Northeast Business Association is called the Soul District, which is great because, the Northeast Portland is the soul of Portland. And not only just because of the color of the people here, but just this whole vibrancy, this whole artistry, creativity, all that unique nature of Oregon. A lot of it exists right here in the Northeast.
Absolutely, and people can see that by how the neighborhood is changing, because it's changing. They're taking it to another level, and it's right here, like you said. So, and I want to thank Miss one of your executives for. I'm working my Soul District, Miss Vaughn Anderson. She's up in the house, so let's give her a clap. She's really doing some things out here. She's really doing some things. Now, also, you are doing something with the MLK.
Oh
March
yeah,
as well, huh?
you know, every year over the last 5 years, you know, for a long time, we were doing a number of things and events that were pretty much designed at somehow or another bringing the community out to recognize the businesses. And one of the things that we formed, we had a dear friend of ours who, when we went around the country doing a thing called the Role Model Summit, we happened to meet up with a gentleman by the name of Jeff Hollister. And Jeff Hollister was one of the number 3 people over at Nike. And the fact that Nike had its first store in the Northeast right here on MLK,
Okay.
we decided that somehow or another with the business association and the community engagement piece and the businesses meeting the community is that somehow or another we would put together an event that could sort of symbolize unity in the community and bring some people together and get out and have a fun event and have a fun day and raise some money for the business association so that we could help some businesses in our district that was struggling. So and so we come up with the Northeast with the MLK Dream Run, and the Dream Run has been a really exciting thing. It celebrates the MLK quarter. We have one of the best, better events around the country that we're doing in relationship to that, and it also raises funds for the Green Lighting Black Lives program that we do with a lot of the youth people. I mean, with a lot of the young people. So it's a real important fundraiser for the business association here in the district. So it's called the Seoul District Business Association today, and you can go online and check it all out. It's the MLK Dream Run, just like it sounds. You can go online, check it out. And also, you can make a charitable contribution. We're always looking for volunteers to come out and give us a hand. It's an exciting time for this district and us over here. So we would encourage you all to go online, check it out, and then come on back and come on over and pay us a visit and say hello. Claire might be around there. You can get a chance to say hello to Claire.
Claire, let's talk to Claire a little bit about that Black Lives,
Green lighting, black
Green
lives
Light, Black Lives Matter.
I know it's just bleh, bleh. It's actually the Gablam.
Kablam?
Gablam.
The blam.
Gablam.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Tell a little bit about that and what that, I mean, what that means to you to be a part of this.
Oh my gosh. So from what I didn't know before
Okay.
to all that I knew
Uh-huh.
after, I don't want to say invaluable. It was the most valuable experience I have ever had in my life.
Wow.
You know, besides being born, of course. But
Yes.
but there's even I was shocked
Okay.
at the amount that I didn't know
Right.
about myself.
Okay.
I've been drawing dragons since I was
Like Dragon's Dragon?
dragons, like
poof,
the
the
creature, the
okay,
mythical
okay.
creature. And
Okay.
you know, with all art, there is a definite change that can be seen as an artist's life goes on, and as new experiences come up, and as a soul grows.
Okay.
And there has been a definite change in how I not only see the world, but in how I interact with it. I wouldn't have known how to speak to someone other than my family, you know, if I hadn't gone through this program.
Right.
But it not only combines awareness about social life, but also how to to express it, you know,
Right.
especially through film. My film instructor, Chris Sacker, is an incredible man. He showed me a very unique way that I don't think I would have gotten if I had gone to a film college, because he also had a unique perspective on, you know, growing up away from his own roots,
Okay.
and then later rediscovering them, and that was just invaluable.
I'll tell you a funny story about Claire. They kept coming. They just couldn't remember the video. The school was about teaching young African Americans to be black filmmakers. And but we had a variety of different young people that were biracial, and we had some people that was light, some people that was dark, some people that knew their black side, some people that didn't, so on and so on. So the film producers were struggling constantly with that. I mean, the teachers and instructors, because they kept struggling, because Claire could not find where she could land on her black side.
Right.
Which was kind of fast. So they would always come to me and say, well, you know, we struggling with Claire because she just can't produce blackness for us, you know. Yeah. But because Claire had a majority part of her raising was with with her white side of her family, which is perfectly okay. I mean, she got the love and support and stuff that she needed. But the bottom line was that her father is African American. So it was kind of a real important part that we wanted them to share and look deeply into their blackness and bring forward that understanding of their community and that kind of. So they kept coming to me and said, we couldn't get Claire to land. Well, you know, and then they said, well, what should we do? And I said, Claire, tell your story.
Tell your story.
Tell your story.
And I said, okay.
And let me tell you something. Lo and behold, if we would have just put that as the prerequisite as for her to be successful or not in this process, we would have missed out on a real wonderful person, an opportunity to be the next person that could be perhaps, you know, the Spike Lee of the world. You know, you know. So we were glad that we stuck it out with Claire, and we were glad that Claire stuck it out with us, and we were glad to see what she produced. And like I said, and not in my wildest imagination would I would have ever gotten the sense of gratification and success after seeing these young people push through their barriers, look at their communities, look at their lives, and then put it on a video and air it for the community and the world to see. It took courage to do that, man, and it was a powerful experience, and that's all I can tell you.
Ms. Vaughn, your executive director passed this over to me. Ms. Devon, would you like to come up here and talk a little bit? Okay, she's good. She said, no. Okay. But Sunday, September 2017, MLK Dream Run, you got the 5K, the 10K, and the 15K going on.
It's a U.S. track and field sanctioned run.
Okay.
And also on the 23rd, the night before, what we wanted to do was to somehow or another, in light of the climate in which we exist in, you know, constant turbulence, our president, the way the world is and all that, we wanted to bring forward something healthy and positive in our community. So the night before the run, we want to do a unity in the community kind of experience with Von Gage and a few other artists who can bring us some different types of flavors. And we just want the community to come together and take a look at the opportunities that we have to somehow or another make this community successful.
Mr. Washington, we appreciate you, but before we leave, we're going to be receiving some more of that conscious rap from one of your entertainers that's going to be at the MLK event. Mr. Von Gage is going to be joining us in a few minutes. Ms. Claire, appreciate you. Stay positive because you got a powerful energy. Mr. Washington, much love to you.
Always love to you, my brother.
Mr. Von Gage, ladies and gentlemen.
Rap it. My name is Von Gage. If you're listening right now, I want you to know something. If you're not fulfilled in what you're doing in life, you don't have to be doing what you're doing, you feel me? You can do anything you want in life. You're gonna hear a lot of people tell you that you can't do it or you shouldn't do it. But if your heart tells you you should, do it, you feel me? Yeah, I said this is from my homies in the rap race. They got you down with a sad face. We'll lift you up to a better place. We can all groove in the sound waves. This is from my homies in the rap race. They got you down with a sad face. We'll lift you up to a better place. We can all groove in the sound. Yeah, 2-2, I spit the algorithm. You hear them whispering, listening to Killer Cali Cadence, killing them, healing the children, feeling ill. Television delivers cerebellum division is sealing, I'm feeling it, Natural selection, my definition with diction, creating friction on a surface of my brilliant depiction. Get your subscription if you're sick and take my prescription. Listen, walk the inner path, kill your superstition. Make a decision. This is for my homies in the rap race. They got you down with a sad face. We'll lift you up to a better place. We can all groove in the sound waves. This is from my homies in the rap race. They got you down with a sad face. We'll lift you up to a better place. We can all groove in the sound. Yeah, what drives us causes us to survive in a world without trust, hatred, lust, and middle lies. Don't get the salary, desire life on credit ain't so fly, especially when you stop and think I'm gonna die. Yeah, they got the sun up above you, the moon below the sky. No matter how you use the saddle, the objective is to ride. We become the gravel of the road for men to travel into the battle. Wake up and live your life, that's right. This is for my homies in the rap race. They got you down with a sad face. We'll lift you up to a better place. We can now groove in the sound waves. This is from my homies in the rap race. They got you down with a sad face. We'll lift you up to a better place. We can all groove in the sound wave. Truth be told, we the ones who hold responsibility to stop living for diamonds and gold. Our children die in the cold while we work to fill the void inside our soul. Filling up our bankroll, hell no, that's not the way. We work hard every day, but to what end if it's all gonna end anyway? What would Jesus say? Rise, open up your eyes, you gotta survive before you're just waiting to die. Yeah, this is for my homies in the rap race. They got you down with a sad face. We'll lift you up to a better place. We can now groove in the sound waves. This is for my homies in the rap race. They got you down with a sad face. We'll lift you up to a better place. But we can now groove in the sound wave. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, see I'm chillin' in the sound waves. Yeah, chillin' in the sound waves. Ay. Yeah, you can come chill in the sound waves anytime you want, you feel me? Yeah, rap it. So do anything that you want to do in life, anything that makes you happy, you know what I'm saying? As long as you're not hurting yourself or hurting other people, you feel me? You can do anything you want in life. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't. My name is Vaughn Gage. Rap it. Wise hustlers always prosper perfectly in time. Yeah. Yeah, I hope you're having as much fun as I am right now dancing to this beat.